Joining me now, Cory Belyk, the president and CEO at CanAlaska Uranium. Great to see you.
Oh, great to see you, Mark. How are you?
Very well. We did this a few months ago, not even that, at VREP. We're going to advance the story. You've got some exciting news we're going to get to right off the top. We don't want to bury the lead. But just before that, if you can remind everybody about the discovery-focused strategy in the basin, the eastern part, the JVs with Cameco and Denison. But let's talk about Pike Zone, the recent drilling. You call the results yesterday when they came out extremely rare, and you found a pearl.
Yeah, it is extremely rare to drill what we drilled and announced yesterday on the 20th of February. It's almost 17 meters of 14% uranium, right at the unconformity. In fact, it's so obliterated at the unconformity with the alteration mineralization, we can't pick the unconformity. This is a big mineralizing event. And you find this type of grade, this type of width at deposits like McArthur, Cigar Lake, Arrow, some of these big Tier 1 assets in the Eastern Athabasca Basin, or Athabasca Basin in general. And you're right, we're centered in the Eastern Athabasca Basin with this project, 12 kilometers from McArthur River, that giant uranium mine of Cameco's. Our partner is Cameco on this project, and we're pretty excited about these results because it sure looks like a game changer for us, and it's very significant.
And the stock popped yesterday, cooling off slightly today. What was your impression of did it go up enough, do you think? Did the markets understand what you're telling them?
I will always say never enough, but I think it was recognition on day one that, hey, this is a step change for CanAlaska, and you drill these types of intersections in a company with 150 million shares out. This is an incredible outcome for our shareholders, and it truly is, I believe, a company game changer, and you know, it's part of a bigger mineralizing event because it's like hole 12 in the Pike Zone. And now we're getting this as an outcome. So it's becoming predictable for the geoscientists, which is nice because they've been working hard to figure it out. And now we can work out from what we know, which is the super high grade hole at the Pike Zone, and take it from there, see where it goes.
At the same time, you've been very busy striking deals, a property swap with the F3, CanAlaska buying the Nebula project, selling a couple of claims. You've got, and you're saying this gives you a commanding land position in the southeastern Athabasca Basin. So tell us about the thinking behind that deal.
Yeah, the last few years we've been repositioning our portfolio to the east. Why? Because there is a need for another Tier 1 uranium asset in the Eastern Athabasca Basin. Recently, Cameco announced ramping up production at McArthur up to 25 million pounds per year. They announced Phase 2 of Cigar Lake is going to go into production. This sets definitive timelines for those assets that are literally within 15 years or less. So that means a discovery needs to be made today in order to feed all of that infrastructure in the Eastern Athabasca Basin, the 3 operating mills. Those mills together are 65 million pounds of production capacity that within 15 years is not going to have a source of Tier 1 feed as we know it today. So drilling this hole at Pike Zone, it looks like a Tier 1 type intersection. If it's truly a Tier 1, it has an automatic home in this infrastructure. It's saddled up right close to McArthur River. The haul road down to Key Lake is 12 kilometers away. It's the perfect scenario, the perfect storm, and the market's here. An incredible situation shaping up in the Eastern Athabasca Basin for CanAlaska.
Other deals include LOIs with Bayge Resources. They can own up to 80% of Waterbury East and Constellation. What was the thinking there?
The thinking is to take assets that we've either project generated more recently or one that's been in our portfolio for a while that we're clearly not going to get to with what we're doing at West McArthur. So it's a way of de-risking those projects using other companies' money. So sharing the risk out and focusing on West McArthur and the Pike Zone in particular. So it allows us to stay undistracted. It brings money, cash and shares into the company through these deals. And you got to remember, you know, those recent deals in the last, say, 12 months, that's $44 million of in-the-ground exploration work or on-the-ground exploration work, plus cash and shares into CanAlaska, an opportunity for that upside on any discovery that's made. So it's a really big part of our business, bringing hard dollars into the company and upside opportunity with share ownership in some of these other companies that are moving some of these assets forward.
And that's not all, Cory. An LOI with Nexus Uranium to acquire up to 75% of the Cree East project, contingent on $20 million in exploration. And you said that you were waiting for the right time for this deal. Why was this the right time?
The right time is now. The market's here. So we wanted that significant investment. We were looking for somewhere around $20 million to actually move that forward. That's what we felt was a very, very good spend profile to go out and potentially make a discovery crease that already has mineralization identified, has incredible alteration zones in Zone B in particular, look every bit like a Cigar Lake analog. So you've got a scenario here where we wanted to make sure that whatever party was coming in to a project with those types of targets laying on the table was going to invest significantly to earn their share, and rightfully so. And on top of that, it's a very large property, about 40 kilometers by 40 kilometers in size, 40 kilometers from the Key Lake Mill, again, Eastern Athabasca Basin. You cannot get a land position like that today in the Athabasca Basin on a project with that level of work and outcomes already on it very easily. So we were waiting for the right partnership to come to the table, and Nexus came to the table.
Lastly, Cory, you've talked about how these are unprecedented times in the uranium sector. You've never seen fundamentals like this before. You've got what's happening in the Pike zone with these results you're talking about, very exciting. So tie that all together. You did a good job last time at VRIC. You talked about how you felt that CanAlaska was kind of a coiled spring. We saw a bit of that released just yesterday. So again, the investment case as we go through the year.
Yeah, the investment case is the same as we talked about. Yeah, the fundamentals are rock solid. I've been in this for 30 years. I've never seen fundamentals like this. You've got SMRs being built out, restarts happening. You've got depletion of reserves like Cigar and MacArthur, among other places around the world, because no discoveries have been made. It's putting stress on the system, and when utilities start looking around for fuel, you're going to have to put some of these deposits into production, or you're going to have to make new discoveries to go into production. It's going to backfill that demand. It's an incredible scenario shaping up. Companies like CanAlaska are like that spring, coiled up, ready to go, and this discovery just uncoils a little faster and perhaps a little farther. So here we are.
All right, beautiful. Thanks, Cory.
Thanks, Mark.
Excellent. Yeah, good to see you too. Cory Belyk of CanAlaska Uranium.